Hi everyone, this is Sharon, and I'm back with a journal flip through of the third book in my Alice in Wonderland series. This particular journal has a sari silk closure, and the cover measures 5 by about 7 3/4. It's got a 1.5 inch spine. It is made from an old book cover. I left the spine as is, other than I did reinforce it, but I love the pattern and the kind of faded little embellishment on there. And I covered the front with a piece of pattern paper, and I sealed it up with a wax finish. Inside, it had some beautiful end pages, so I didn't want to do anything with those. I wanted to preserve them. I left them in, and I just reinforced them with some washi tape. And the first signature starts out with an envelope. This is made from an Edith Holden book page. Got some coffee dyed line paper in here, and on this side I've got some journaling cards. Actually, this one I made, and these are some playing cards, Alice playing cards, and I backed them with paper. This is a napkin that I treated with water and glue, and this is, thank you Carrie Teeter for that idea. Gives it a nice, really crinkly, kind of sturdy feel to it. This is a page from an Alice in Wonderland book, and some stamping on there. On this side, I stitched a little tuck spot on the top with the kind of punched out edge on there, and hung with some ribbon a tag, and there's some journaling space on the back. Reinforced that with washi tape. On this page, I've got a couple of journaling cards. This is a vellum printed with botanical on there. For this page, I actually took a strip of coffee dyed paper, about 1 inch wide, I would say, stitched it down the middle to the page, and then I took this card and sandwiched it in between the two, brought those two sides up from the stitching, and it makes a nice little flippy thing. In this card, I've got a pretty little bird printed on some vellum and backed with the map image. This is a tag again on the book page. This has a nice little tuck spot, and it's embellished with a velvet ribbon and a button. Some cards in an original book page from one of my Alice books, and stamping on the back. This library card pocket I took from one of my Alice in Wonderland books, so it's the original with the card and the due date page. And I also made a little journaling card there. This is coffee stained graph paper that's a little crinkly. I don't mind that though. And on the side, I've got a little piece of book spine on here. Beautiful image, I love that. And then a repurposed old tag. Printed on vellum. This is an actual book page from a book I found called Old London that has some beautiful illustrations in it. And I just stitched that to the page to make a tuck spot. On this side, again, a couple of little journaling cards. I stamped some cheesecloth and adhered that to it. This is an embossed envelope. This page I've actually done in one of my other Alice books as well. I kind of, to stick to the theme, made it look like the rabbit's shirt for the tea party. But you can actually apply this to any journal that you're making. The reason I did it in the first place is, you know how sometimes you have coffee dyed paper and you really love that dark edge? Well, I don't always want to cut that off, so I was trying to think of a way that I could keep that and still make the page fit. And if you take your page and you just bring it up and take out as much as you need to make the page fit in your journal, stitch along there, and then push it down and crease it along the stitching line, you could apply this. It actually, if you would stitch on the top and the bottom, it would make some natural tuck spots on each side. You could embellish this with washi tape or something else as well. So just something that you could apply anywhere. In the center here, I've got some old vintage beads hanging from the string, botanical book page, dictionary page, Alice playing card, printed an old map and distressed it onto a book page, and then put a wax finish on that, and a bookmark. Here I've got a place to tuck some papers. This is a vintage piece of ephemera from 1958. And a page that you could use for journaling. Here I've got a bookmark backed with some ledger paper that's been coffee stained, sari silk tip up, and belly band here. Here I stitched the page down to create a little tuck spot on top and embellished it with a doily, some ribbon, and here's graphics fairy image and a floating pocket. On this side of the page, I just took a piece of coffee stained paper, stamped it, stitched it to the page, and it creates a little tuck spot on the top there. And then this is, I guess I'd call it a writing board. It's pretty thick and heavy, so you could definitely use it to reinforce your page for writing, or you could write on it, use it as journaling card as well. These are Roxy Creation labels. They actually come as circles, but I had to stretch them a little bit into ovals to get them to fit my board. And this is antique papery. Some tissue paper. This is a book page from a typewriting exercise book. Got some little paper dangly things in the middle here. Here's again a piece of that book page from the old London book that I stitched in. This is a vintage greeting card that I pulled from a scrapbook that I purchased. I thought the writing was really pretty. And inside I adhered, this is actually called German scrap. They come in sheets, and I bought several of them on the Mackie Stamp website. And they're butterflies, vegetables, I think I got fish. They're really kind of neat. They're three-dimensional. And that was an experience checking out from their website, because I thought I had checked English-speaking language to check out, because otherwise everything's in German. And it was good, and it was in English until I got to the payment and the shipment page, and then everything was in German again. And once I was that far, I wasn't turning back, so I apparently made my way through it okay, because they came and arrived safe and sound. Here's some cheesecloth, a little tuck spot, and journaling card. This page was kind of a happy accident. You know how you have those strips that you cut off the ends of your pages sometimes? Well, I was just folding them over the top of each other, and I had stamped them and decided to stitch them in, and it actually creates kind of a little natural tuck spot up in the corner there. I really kind of like the way that turned out. On this side, I have a journaling card. This is Artie Mae's. You can write on both sides of that. I also have an antique postcard in here. I really love this one, and I thought the colors went well, and I looked at this picture and thought, that's probably someplace Alice would like to investigate and check out. It's got some really pretty writing on the back, and I think it's from, my birthday. I should have kept that one. It looks like it's from 1900 something. And here I have a sari silk tip up with a little bit of vellum and a pretty birdie image stitched on there, and then it's kind of a belly band on the top as well. Stitched this into a tuck spot with a couple of journaling cards. This is music paper, and I reinforced with some washi, stuck in a little pretty piece of paper. On this side of the page, I have a cardstock pocket that I covered with some fabric, vellum with birds on it, a little bit of stamping there, and some little pieces of ephemera in here. This is just a little envelope type thing from an Alice book page that I put together. I thought the Cheshire Cat would enjoy sitting on this page that says Cheshire Cat, so I put him on there. Did a little decorative stitching on this side of the page. Here is a book page from that old London book that I absolutely love. This is one of my favorites. It's got some really pretty colors in there, and it just looked like a place Alice would want to run around and investigate. A little tuck spot, and I stuck an Alice book page in there. This is antique papery. A couple more. Note card. Also antique papery. Cards in there. These, with these pretty images, I've got a couple throughout the book. Those are graphics fairy images. that's the end of the journal. Alice in Wonderland 3, thank you for sticking with me, and bye-bye till next time.